Picture this. You're 67 years old, you've been flying for decades, and you think you know the airport routine like the back of your hand. You pack your carry-on the same way you have for years, arrive at the gate feeling confident, and then, bam, the gate agent stops you cold. Your bag's too heavy. Your medications aren't properly labeled. That power bank you've used on dozens of flights, suddenly it's banned. Sound familiar? Well, you're not alone. Airport rules have changed dramatically in 2025, and unfortunately, senior travelers are getting hit the hardest. We're talking about surprise fees, confiscated items, missed flights, and hours of frustration, all because the rules you learned years ago simply don't apply anymore. But here's the thing that really gets under my skin. Airlines and TSA aren't exactly going out of their way to educate travelers about these changes. They're just enforcing them, leaving millions of experienced travelers scrambling to figure out what went wrong. If you're watching this video, chances are you're a seasoned traveler who's seen it all. You remember when you could bring a full-size bottle of shampoo on board, when shoes stayed on your feet during security, and when gate agents actually helped solve problems instead of creating them. Those days are long gone, my friend. In 2025, the travel landscape has shifted more dramatically than at any point since 9/11. New technology, stricter enforcement, and constantly changing airline policies have created a perfect storm of confusion, and seniors are bearing the brunt of it. Why? Because the travel industry assumes everyone adapts to change at the same pace. They assume everyone checks their phone constantly for updates. They assume everyone wants to use self-service kiosks and facial recognition scanners. But here's what they don't understand. Experience should count for something. You've earned the right to travel without jumping through hoops designed by 25-year-old tech developers who've never dealt with arthritis, hearing aids, or prescription medications. That's why I've put together this comprehensive guide. We're going to walk through the 17 most common mistakes that senior travelers are making with their carry-ons in 2025. Mistakes that are costing them time, money, and peace of mind. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to pack, what to expect, and how to navigate these new rules like the experienced traveler you are. You'll also get a heads up on what's coming in 2026, so you can stay ahead of the curve instead of getting blindsided at the gate. And here's the best part. Most of these problems are completely avoidable once you know what to look for. Mistake number 1, assuming your old carry-on still qualifies. Let's start with the most expensive mistake seniors are making, assuming that carry-on bag you've used for years still meets airline requirements. Here's what's happening. Airlines have quietly shrunk their size requirements, and they're enforcing them with military precision. That bag that sailed through security in 2023, it might cost you $75 in gate check fees today. Budget airlines like Spirit and Frontier have led the charge, but now even major carriers are cracking down. They're using measuring devices at gates, and if your bag doesn't fit perfectly, not close, not almost, but perfectly, you're paying extra. The old rule of thumb was 22 by 14 by 9 inches. But now, some airlines have reduced that to 21 by 13 by 8 inches. That might not sound like much, but it's the difference between a free carry-on and a $75 surprise fee. Even worse, they're now weighing carry-ons at the gate. Most airlines limit carry-ons to 15 to 22 pounds, depending on the carrier. That laptop, those extra shoes, and your travel-sized toiletries add up faster than you think. The fix. Measure and weigh your packed bag at home before you leave. If it's even close to the limit, either repack or be prepared to pay. Don't gamble with your travel budget. Mistake number 2, packing medications incorrectly. This one hits close to home for a lot of seniors, and it's causing serious problems at security checkpoints. TSA requires all prescription medications to be in their original pharmacy bottles, with your name clearly visible on the label. That pill organizer you use at home, it's not acceptable for air travel, even if it's more convenient. Here's why this matters. If TSA can't verify that your medications belong to you, they can confiscate them. And if you're carrying controlled substances like pain medications or anxiety treatments without proper documentation, you could face serious legal issues. One traveler from Phoenix told me his blood pressure medication was confiscated because he'd transferred the pills to a smaller container to save space. He spent his entire vacation trying to get a prescription filled in an unfamiliar city. The fix? Keep all medications in original bottles, even if it takes up more space. For longer trips, ask your pharmacist for a travel-sized bottle with proper labeling. And always carry a copy of your prescriptions, especially for controlled substances. Mistake number 3, bringing the wrong power bank. Power banks have become essential travel gear, but the rules around them have gotten much stricter in 2025, especially after a serious incident on an Airbus flight in January that forced an emergency evacuation. Here's what seniors need to know. Not all power banks are flight safe, and the rules are based on technical specifications that aren't always clearly marked. Power banks over 32,000 milliamp hours, mAh, are completely banned from flights. Power banks between 20,000 and 32,000 milliamp hours need airline approval before you fly. And here's the kicker. If your power bank doesn't have clear labeling showing its capacity, TSA will confiscate it on the spot. Many seniors are carrying older power banks that don't have the required labeling, or they're buying high-capacity models online without realizing they exceed airline limits. The fix? Check your power bank's capacity before you travel. Look for clear labeling showing both milliamp hours and watt hours. If it's over 20,000 milliamp hours, contact your airline before your flight. And never ever pack power banks in checked luggage. They must stay in your carry-on. Mistake number 4, misunderstanding the liquid rules. You'd think after nearly 20 years, everyone would understand the 3-to-1-to-1 liquid rule, but seniors are still getting tripped up, and it's costing them time and money. The rule hasn't changed. Liquids must be in containers of 3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters, or smaller. All containers must fit in 1 quart-size clear bag, and you get 1 bag per passenger. But here's what's new. Enforcement has gotten much stricter. TSA agents are no longer giving warnings or allowing exceptions. If your container is 3.5 ounces, it's getting tossed, even if it's only half full. Seniors are particularly affected because they often travel with multiple medications, eye drops, and health-related liquids. They're also more likely to have expensive skincare products that they don't want to throw away. The fix? Invest in a set of TSA-approved travel containers and transfer your liquids before you leave home. For medications, ask your doctor about solid alternatives when possible. And remember, the size of the container matters, not how much liquid is inside. Mistake number 5, ignoring smart luggage restrictions. Smart luggage seemed like a great idea when it first came out. Built-in charging ports, GPS tracking, digital locks. But in 2025, many of these high-tech bags are causing major headaches for travelers. The problem is lithium batteries. If your smart luggage has a non-removable battery, it's banned from most flights. Airlines are worried about fire hazards, especially in cargo holds where crew members can't quickly respond to emergencies. Many seniors invested in expensive smart luggage a few years ago, not realizing that the rules would change. Now they're showing up at airports only to be told their $300 suitcase can't fly. The fix? If you have smart luggage, make sure the battery can be easily removed. Test this at home. If you need tools or it takes more than 30 seconds, it won't pass airline inspection. When in doubt, stick with traditional luggage for air travel. Mistake number 6. Overpacking and creating X-ray problems. Seniors are masters at efficient packing, rolling clothes tight, using every inch of space, stuffing shoes with socks. But this efficiency is actually working against them in 2025. When bags are packed too tightly, X-ray machines can't distinguish individual items. Everything looks like one solid mass, which triggers automatic bag searches. TSA agents then have to unpack your entire bag, examine each item, and let you repack it, all while other passengers wait behind you. This is particularly frustrating for seniors who take pride in their packing skills and don't understand why their organized bag is causing problems. The fix: Use packing cubes to separate different types of items. Leave a little empty space in your bag. Don't pack it to the breaking point. And keep electronics in easily accessible outer pockets so you can remove them quickly during screening. Mistake number 7. Bringing prohibited items without realizing it. The list of prohibited carry-on items keeps growing, and some of the additions might surprise you. Tent stakes and camping gear are now banned from carry-ons, even if you're heading to a family camping trip. Multi-tools, even tiny ones, are scrutinized more carefully. Mercury thermometers are completely prohibited. Even some sports equipment that used to be allowed is now banned. Seniors are often caught off guard because they're carrying items they've brought on flights before, not realizing the rules have changed. The fix: check the current TSA prohibited items list before every trip, not just your first flight of the year. When in doubt, pack questionable items in checked luggage or leave them at home. It's better to buy a replacement at your destination than to lose something valuable at security. Mistake number 8. Not understanding powder restrictions. The 12-ounce powder rule is tripping up a lot of senior travelers, especially those who travel with protein supplements, medications, or specialty foods. Any powder-like substance over 12 ounces requires additional screening. This includes protein powder, ground coffee, spices, makeup powder, and even some medications. TSA agents will open containers, test substances, and sometimes ask you to taste items to prove they were what you claim. This process can take 15 to 20 minutes, causing delays and missed connections. It's particularly problematic for seniors who may be carrying multiple powdered medications or supplements. The fix: divide large powder containers into smaller ones under 12 ounces each. Keep original packaging when possible, and pack powders in easily accessible areas of your bag. If you must travel with large amounts, arrive at the airport extra early to account for additional screening time. Mistake number 9. Mishandling multiple personal items. Airlines are cracking down hard on passengers who try to bring multiple personal items on board. What used to be overlooked, a purse plus a laptop, bag plus a small shopping bag, now triggers fees and confrontations. Seniors are particularly affected because they often travel with multiple small bags for organization. One for medications, one for electronics, one for documents. But airlines are counting each bag separately and charging accordingly. Some airlines are even using AI-powered cameras at gates to automatically count and measure items, removing human discretion from the equation. The fix: consolidate your items into one personal item and one carry-on. Use bags with multiple compartments instead of multiple separate bags. If you must carry several items, attach smaller pouches to your main bag with carabiners or straps so they appear as one unit. Mistake number 10. Ignoring weight limits. This is the surprise that's catching the most seniors off guard. Carry-on weight limits are being strictly enforced in 2025. Airlines have always had weight limits for carry-ons, typically 15 to 22 pounds depending on the carrier. But enforcement was spotty. Not anymore. Gate agents are walking around with handheld scales, and they're using them. Seniors often pack heavier because they're bringing medications, books, and comfort items for longer trips. That laptop, those extra shoes, and your travel documents add up quickly. When you exceed the weight limit, you're looking at gate check fees of $50 to $100, often double what you would have paid if you'd checked the bag originally. The fix: weigh your pack carry-on at home using a luggage scale. If you're over the limit, move heavier items like laptops and books to your personal item, which typically doesn't have weight restrictions. Consider leaving heavy items at home or packing them in the checked luggage from the start. Mistake number 11. Not preparing for new security technology. TSA has rolled out new technology in 2025 that's changing how security screening works, and many seniors aren't prepared for it. The biggest change is automated screening lanes with RFID tracked bins. Everything, and I mean everything, must go in a bin now, including your carry-on suitcase. The old days of placing your bag directly on the conveyor belt are over. There's also expanded facial recognition technology at over 200 airports. While you can opt out, the manual process takes longer and can cause delays. Self-service ID checking is becoming standard at major airports. You scan your own ID and boarding pass instead of handing them to an agent. The fix: arrive at the airport 30 minutes earlier than you used to. Practice removing electronics and liquids quickly at home. If you're uncomfortable with facial recognition or self-service kiosks, know that you can request human assistance, but it will take longer. Mistake number 12: bringing empty water bottles that trigger searches. You know the drill. Empty your water bottle before security, then refill it on the other side. But in 2025, even empty bottles are causing problems. Thick-walled stainless steel bottles like Hydro Flask and Yeti show up as solid black masses on X-ray machines. Security agents can't see through them to confirm they're empty, so they trigger manual inspections. Vacuum-insulated bottles are particularly problematic because their double-wall construction creates spaces that can't be verified by scanners. The fix: switch to a clear plastic water bottle or a collapsible silicone bottle for air travel. Save your expensive metal bottle for other activities. The goal is to make it obvious to X-ray operators that your bottle is empty. Mistake number 13: misunderstanding real ID requirements. As of May 7, 2025, Real ID is mandatory for all domestic flights in the United States. Your old driver's license won't work anymore unless it has a star in the upper right corner. Many seniors haven't updated their licenses because they don't drive as much or weren't aware of the deadline. Now they're showing up at airports and being turned away. The fix: check your driver's license right now. If it doesn't have a star, you need either a Real ID compliant license or a passport for domestic flights. Don't wait. DMV appointments can take weeks, and you don't want to miss a trip because of paperwork. Mistake number 14: packing food incorrectly. Seniors often travel with snacks, medications, or special dietary items. But food rules have gotten more complex in 2025. Fresh fruits and vegetables can trigger federal agriculture violations, with fines up to $300. Homemade items like trail mix or jerky are scrutinized more carefully. Even commercially packaged foods can cause problems if they contain restricted ingredients. The issue is that your carry-on goes through both TSA security screening and USDA agriculture inspection, and they have different rules. The fix: stick to commercially packaged processed foods with clear ingredient labels. Research agriculture restrictions for your destination, especially for international flights. When in doubt, buy food after security or at your destination. Mistake number 15: not labeling luggage properly. With new RFID tracking systems and automated sorting, proper luggage identification has become more critical than ever. Bags without clear identification tags or with old tags from previous trips can be flagged for manual inspection. This causes delays and increases the chance of lost luggage. The fix: use durable luggage tags with your full name, phone number, and email address. Remove all old airline tags and stickers from previous trips. Consider adding a backup tag inside your bag in case the external tag falls off. Mistake number 16: forgetting about electronics removal. Despite all the new technology, you still need to remove laptops, tablets, and large electronics from your carry-on during screening. This basic rule hasn't changed, but enforcement has gotten stricter. Forgetting to remove electronics triggers an automatic bag search that can take 15 to 20 minutes. For seniors traveling during busy periods, this can mean missed connections. The fix: pack electronics in easily accessible outer pockets. Practice the routine at home so it becomes automatic. Assume every electronic device larger than a smartphone needs to come out, regardless of what type of bag you're using. Mistake number 17: not understanding. Upcoming 2026 changes. Here's what most seniors don't realize: The changes we've seen in 2025 are just the beginning. There are significant updates coming in 2026 that will affect how you pack and travel. The TSA is reviewing the 311 liquid rule and may relax restrictions for certain items, but don't count on it. The EU is implementing stricter free baggage requirements that could affect international flights. And facial recognition technology is expanding to 80 airports by the end of 2026. More importantly, airlines are moving toward even more automated systems. Self-service will become the default, with human assistance available, but slower and more limited. The fix: stay informed about changes through official TSA and airline websites, not social media rumors. Consider signing up for TSA PreCheck if you haven't already. It provides more consistent rules and shorter lines. And start getting comfortable with technology-assisted travel because it's only going to increase. The bigger picture: why this matters. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Why should I have to adapt to all these changes? I've been flying longer than these gate agents have been alive. And you're absolutely right to feel frustrated. The travel industry has made flying more complicated, not simpler. They've shifted responsibility from trained staff to passengers, and they haven't done a good job of communicating these changes. But here's the reality. These rules aren't going away. In fact, they're going to get stricter. Airlines are under pressure to improve efficiency and reduce costs. Security agencies are responding to real threats and new technology capabilities. The question isn't whether these changes are fair. It's how you're going to adapt to them so they don't ruin your travel plans. Your action plan. So what should you do with all this information? Here's your step-by-step action plan before your next trip. Check your driver's license for real ID compliance. Measure and weigh your carry-on bag. Review your power bank specifications. Transfer liquids to TSA-approved containers. Remove old luggage tags and stickers. Pack medications in original bottles. Research prohibited items for your specific airline. At the airport, arrive 30 minutes earlier than you used to. Have your ID and boarding pass easily accessible. Be prepared to put everything in bins during security. Stay calm and polite with airline staff. Ask for human assistance if you're uncomfortable with self-service options. Looking ahead, consider TSA. Pre-check for more consistent rules. Stay updated on changes through official sources. Practice using airline apps and self-service kiosks. Build extra time into your travel schedule. The silver lining. Here's something the airlines don't want you to know. There are actually some improvements coming specifically for senior travelers. TSA has eliminated mandatory shoe removal for all passengers as of July 2025. They're implementing senior assist lanes at major airports with quieter environments and additional staff support. And they're offering priority TSA pre-check appointments for travelers over 65. Airlines are also required to provide human assistance for any automated process. You just need to ask for it. Don't let anyone pressure you into using technology you're not comfortable with. Final thoughts. Look, I get it. Flying used to be simpler. You could show up an hour before your flight, walk through security with your shoes on, and gate agents actually helped solve problems instead of creating them. Those days are gone, but that doesn't mean you have to stop traveling. It just means you need to adapt your approach. The seniors who are having the best travel experiences in 2025 are the ones who've taken the time to understand these new rules and prepare accordingly. They're not fighting the system, they're working within it. You've navigated bigger changes than this in your lifetime. You've adapted to new technology, new social norms, and new ways of doing business. This is just one more adaptation, and you're absolutely capable of mastering it. The key is preparation. Know the rules, pack accordingly, arrive early, and stay flexible. Most importantly, don't let these changes discourage you from seeing the world. Travel is one of life's great pleasures, and you've earned the right to enjoy it. Call to action. If this video helped you understand these new carry-on rules, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps other senior travelers find this information when they need it most. And here's something you definitely don't want to miss. Everything I've told you about carry-on rules won't matter if you don't have the right travel documents in the first place. That's why you need to watch my next video about the new ID requirements that are catching senior travelers completely off guard. I'll show you exactly what documents you need, how to get them quickly, and what to do if you're caught without proper ID at the airport. Click the video that's appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you there. Safe travels, and remember, knowledge is your best travel companion.